Okay, good morning. So this will be our lecture for the day. So I have here now the header files. So we have the standard IO, standard library. So these are the two default header files, and then I included string.h. Okay, and then I created now a structure emp, which includes the following members. So we have ID, which is an integer, name, which is an array of characters, so that's actually a string, and then salary, which is float. And then after this, I created, or I initialized, or I created an array of using this structure m, excuse me, containing 5 elements. So I have here 5, and I already initialized each values. Of course, in your program, you can create or you can add values using, f get s, or maybe scan f, etc. Or maybe what we call user input. So user will enter the values. But here I already initialized the array of structures. So I have the following names, okay, and so number, employee ID, number, name, and then we have the salary here. So take note, each record is enclosed in open and close curly braces. So we have actually an array of structure. So in this case, we have 5 elements. That's why we have here 5. And then we have here the prototype for display and excuse me, sort. Okay, so display and sort. So in our main program, this is what we're going to do. We'll be displaying the original list. So that means it is not yet sorted, and then we're going to sort the array using name. So we're going to use name this time so that at least we have another demonstration or demo for string manipulation, especially in comparing strings. And then we'll be displaying again the list, but this time around it should be sorted because we already have the sort algorithm here. So here will be the contents or the definition of the functions. So for display, we'll just be displaying the list from 0 to 4 kasi nga 5 yung element, so 0 to 4. So what we're going to do is just make use of a loop and then give the format. Again, what's negative, that means left aligned. So this is for float, and then for integer. So 6D will be used by ID, which is an integer, and then yung 40S will be used by name, which is actually a string. And then yung 10F, 10.2F will be used by salary, so which is actually float. So this will just loop and display the list or the array of M. And then yung sort, so we have discussed sort last time. Oh no, wait. So we have discussed sort last time. Ayun, ito. This one is working, yung isa hindi. Sorry, doon sa keyboard ko may problem. So here we have swap equals 1, and this is bubble sort, okay? And then in I, and then our temp this time around, in our example that was an integer, but this time our temp will be the M structure. So struct M temp, and then I equals 0. So while swap equals 1, that means if there is swapping, it is not yet sorted. So for each pass, we initialize swap to 0, and then we have now our pass. So what we do is to compare the two adjacent values. So in this case, we're comparing names. And again, we don't use lesser than, greater than with names, but we use strcmp. So we have yung employee name, and then the adjacent one is I plus 1, name. So we use strcmp, and then we compare that to greater than 0. If that's greater than 0, that means that this one is higher than this, which is not supposed to be the case, because if you're going to sort this in ascending order, this one should be lower than this one. So if it is greater than 0, what do? We swap their places. So if we swap their places, our flag swap should be equal to 1, and then ito yon. So yung I, ilagay sa temp, yung employee I plus 1. So that's the whole record already. Will be placed in employee I, and then temp will be placed in employee I plus 1. So we did the swapping. I know we have already discussed swapping. So again, if it passed through this, swap equals 1. That means it is not yet sorted. So we do this until the time that this will not be changed. And if this will not be changed, swap equals 0 will not be changed. That means it is already sorted. So that's our sort algorithm. So if we execute the program, compile and run, so this now the output. Hope you can see the output. So notice on the first here in the original list, you have De Vera Alejandro, Abalos Mario, Zolveta Lito, Macreg Romeo, Baldueza Renato. And then these are the corresponding salaries. And here we have now Abalos Mario with ID number 2 and with 35,000. Baldueza Renato is the second one with 32,500. De Vera Alejandro, 40,000. So, yan, ID number 1. And then we have Macareg Romeo and then Zolveta Lito. So, as we can see, it is already sorted. And so, again, I just showed you how to create an array of structure. Kung ano, hindi pa natin na-discuss. So, this is an array of structure. And I also have shown you how to compare strings in sorting. Okay? So that will be our lesson for today. Thank you.